In this video, we will be going over the Create Region tool in the Groups toolbar. We can get to that tool through the drawing workflow in the Home ribbon. And the last toolbox down at the end is called Groups, and it's this first tool on the toolbar. It's called Create Region. I'm going to left click and select it, and it's going to bring up the Create Region tool. This tool is similar to the Create a Complex Shape tool. This tool will also create a closed complex element that can be manipulated as if it were a single element. So on the Create Region tool, you have several different methods to create a region. You have flood, union, intersection, and difference. You may find a use to use these last three options, but in these examples we're just going to use the flood method. You still have your fill type and fill color. I'm going to leave it set to opaque and a color of red. And then you have two options down here which are called Keep Original, and then you have Associative Region Boundary. I'll explain those a little bit later. And then you have some options down here we'll go over as well. But for now I'm going to keep these two checked off, and I'm just going to leave these set to the default down here for now. So to go out and create a region, all I need to do is go out inside of a closed area, and with my left mouse button, just data click. It's going to highlight the area where it wants to create the region. If that's what I want, I'll just left click to accept it, and it creates my region. But like the Create Complex Shape tool, if I were to go out and delete this region now, you'll notice when I delete the region, all the lines associated with it are also deleted. So I'm going to do a couple undos. Go back to my Create Region tool, and this time I'm going to check on my Keep Original. I'm going to go out there and create that same region. Left click one time in the area I want to create it. Left click again to accept it, and it creates that region. But now if I go out and delete that region, since I had that Keep Original checked on, it's going to keep the original lines out there. I'm going to go back to my Create Region tool again, and now I'm going to check on this Associative Region Boundary. And what this option does, if this is checked on, the region boundary retains association with the elements used to create it. So basically, if I modify one of the elements that was used to create this region, the boundary of that region will also be modified. So to give you an example of this, I'll just go out and left click to create that same region again. But now if I come up to my modified tools, and maybe I'll select Insert a Vertex. So I'll just come out here and left click to insert a vertex. Right now I have my region selected, so I'm going to do a right click to get my line selected. Now if I just drop that off, you can see that line is going to be modified, but that region is also modified with the line. I'm going to do a couple undos, and then go back to my Create Region tool. And one thing I can do if I want to select multiple regions to flood at the same time, I can hold down my Control key. Let's say I want to create a region out of this area and this area. If I hold down my Control key, left click inside the first area, left click inside the second area, let go of my Control key, and then just left click to accept it, and it's going to create that region. There are a few more options down here. You can ignore interior shapes, you can locate interior shapes, you can identify alternating interior shapes, you can locate interior text, and then you have this dynamic area locate. So first what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go out and place a block, and I'm going to put a fill type of none in this one. I'll just put the block in here, and then I'm going to move this Create Region text up into here. Now I'm going to go back to my Create Region tool. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn on my Locate Interior Shapes. And I'm going to change my fill type back to opaque. Maybe this time I want to change my color to something else. I'll just change it to maybe green. Now I'll come out inside of this area, outside of that block. I'm going to flood it. And you'll notice with that Locate Interior Shapes, it locates that block. If that's what I want, I'll left click to accept it. And then if I wanted to create a region in here with text, but I wanted to kind of mask out that text, I could turn on this Locate Interior Text tool. And then down here you also have your text margin, which will actually be a percentage of your text height. So I'm just going to put 0.5 and hit enter. So my text margin around the mask will be half as big as the text height. So now if I want to create a region in this area here, I'll just left click. It's going to highlight that area, but you can see it's blocking out that text. So if that's what I want, I'll just left click to select it, and it creates that region. So I'm going to do a few undos to get to where it looks like this again. And now you have this last option for the dynamic area locate. If I check that on, it's going to show me the area it's trying to flood. And with this tool you can also hold down your control key. So if I want to flood both of these at one time, I'll just hold down my control key, left click on the first one, left click on the second one, let go of my control key, it's got them both selected, and I'll just do one more left click to accept that, and it created that region. I'm going to go ahead and turn off that dynamic area locate. And there's one more thing I wanted to show you. Since we kept on that associative region boundary, if I come out to my move tool and select it, and I move this block inside of here, you notice when I move it, since the associative region boundary was checked on, it knows that that block should be a void in that region. The same thing for the text. If I come out here and move the text, that text mask will move with it. So that's how you can use the Create Region tool in your drawing.